the goal for today is to arrive in the town of Bisson.
We are parked for the night, but not on purpose.
We are arriving to Bisson and it is such an entrance. Is that a tiger? I'm Maya and this is Aladino. In mid-November, we converted our 28-foot sailboat into a riverboat, and we started going north, from the Mediterranean all the way to the North Sea. In front of us, we had 2,000 kilometers and 200 locks. Join us as we navigate river currents, discover incredible places, cruise through canals, wait out a global pandemic in the heart of France, and record the whole voyage with a new episode every Friday. This is North Through the Continent. We're going north through the continent. Another day, another voyage up rivers and through canals. In the morning, we cast off from our little wilderness dock and I ran ahead to prepare the first lock of the day.
We found that it is easier to step off the boat when possible, and I steer in and I can throw her the dock lines and she is already in the lock, because sometimes the wall is really high and you have to or throw them or walk up the ladder. If I throw them up, she can catch them, secure the boat, pass them back down to me, and that's the best way right now. But it always changes, so every segment of the way has a different technique that we gotta get used to. It's not like a universal rule that applies to all the locks.
We were young and we were free and running.
So Maya is off. You run to the next one? Yes. All right. Bye. Bye.
A few years later I started thinking, if it's just
here we go.
glass I'm drinking, we're like one and without you I'm sinking. I'm always shining next to you.
Woohoo, woohoo, what a great start to the day. A little bit of a run into the écluse, gets the endorphins going, gets the happiness going. Fantastic. The next écluse is a little bit farther, so I don't feel like running there, but that was a good start.
A good start indeed. The thing about any adventure is that you never quite know what will happen next. And as we motored along beneath overcast skies, we had no idea about the marvels we would soon come across. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's return to the canal.
So the goal for today is to arrive in the town of Bisson. And as we're starting to draw nearer to town, the landscape is changing and it's becoming really impressive. We're starting to enter into the mountains now, and so all around us there's these high cliffs. And beyond just making for a very beautiful landscape, it also means that we have some very cool canal features coming up. Pretty soon here we're going to be going through a tunnel. Now, last time we came down the canals, I wasn't much of a YouTuber at all, and so I didn't film a lot, but I did film this tunnel because it is so magical. And I was kind of hoping for like sunnier weather and more of like a magical vibe around it, but you know what, the cloudy is okay. I think the tunnel will speak for itself. I'm very excited to show you.
The landscape was indeed becoming impressive, but our eyes were so glued to the soaring cliffs that we got a bit of a shock when we looked down into the river beneath us.
camera's having a little bit of a hard time picking it up, but we are very, very shallow. We can see the bottom and it's very close. The depth sounder does say 2.4, which is actually deeper than some sections, but it just looks so close. So we're kind of going slow here. There's navigation markers up ahead, not for this section though. So we're gonna kind of like follow in line of the navigation markers up ahead and just go slowly, watch the depth sounder. Okay, another AQ's behind us.
France often feels like a storybook, and here was another beautifully illustrated page. Dancing lights decorating raw rock walls and a little Swedish sailboat slipping slowly through.
What does it feel like to go through a tunnel on a sailboat?
Wow, such a nice tunnel.
Are you making fun of me?
No! How could I? About such a cute tunnel.
Oh my god. So we just came up this lock, and now that we're getting into more mountainous landscapes, the locks are getting a little bit higher, and check this out. So we've actually got a double lock. So this one just finished. The gates are now slowly opening. And over here, we have another lock.
We pulled the boat forward and secured it again. Like always, the water level rose. We adjusted the lines, magic carpet bobbed around in the current. The doors opened, and on we went. Grey skies, increasingly impressive scenery, the day continued. Now, if you've been following our episodes, perhaps you've already heard us express anxiety about the often shallow and sometimes poorly marked Doubs River. So far we'd managed to avoid a grounding, but our luck could only hold out for so long.
We are parked for the night, but not on purpose. We are on a sandbank, but it was we were hardly moving. I stopped because we have to activate the lock, and just as I was basically not moving anymore, we went up onto this, and now check it out. That's incredible. That's like 1 meter right here. Yeah, but also the enclosure. Oh, now it's preparing.
Yeah.
Okay, so now I'll try to get off. I mean, I'm basically in the middle of the channel, but here I got a huge sandbank, so obviously I gotta move more to the side. No signalization of that, but it went all smooth. If we can get off again,
I think we should be able to get off again, but it is crazy shallow right here.
Totally. So I'll try to reverse and steer, and you film?
Yeah. So the current from the lock is now coming out because the lock is preparing. Aladino's putting it in full reverse. Oh, and we are moving. Okay, so all good. We're getting off okay.
Easy peasy for our strong boat.
Yeah, that was easy, hey? Okay. Not so bad. Not so bad.
Well, because the bow is sloped, so it was only the front maybe sitting on it a little bit.
Yeah. And thankfully we were going so slow because we were waiting for the lock.
Yeah,
so
we hardly noticed.
Yeah, I actually didn't feel it. Normally when we go aground, like on the way down, we went aground a lot more, and you really felt it. On the way down last time, the water level was lower, so.
All right.
Okay, great.
A canal tunnel with dancing lights, a grounding, and a beautiful landscape. What more interesting things could possibly happen? And oh, just wait, because now we were nearing the city of Besançon.
We are arriving to Besançon, and it is such an entrance. There's this giant castle on top of this kind of, I don't know if you could call it a mountain, but a very impressive cliff presiding over the town, and approaching from the river you just get this incredible view. It's wow, what a place.
Besançon was where the capital city of the region was established after that title was stripped from the town of Dole, the storybook town we visited a few episodes ago. But beyond its impressive fortress, Besançon is also well known for watchmaking. Apparently, there is an incredible astronomical clock in the main cathedral, which we were hoping to see. And little did we know that there was even more to see than we actually realized. We motored into town, found a dock, and there we were, ready to explore. The first stop was to see the astronomical clock.
I think this is it. I think they're working on it. It's a weird entrance. It says Monument Historique.
Whoa, Fermi!
No!
Fermi!
No! Oh, that's so sad.
Even the entrance to the cathedral seemed long forgotten about.
Does it open? I feel like we shouldn't be here. It's really weird. Oh, wow.
There's a kind of feeling which is particular to these ancient stone churches. It's a feeling of echoing silence. Every footfall reverberates around the old stone arches, painfully obvious amidst the otherwise muted silence. The air is always a few degrees cooler, and in France especially there's always a particular smell, like a kind of incense or something, which I imagine must come from the candles.
Unfortunately, we couldn't visit the astronomical clock since it is closed still. Very sad, but we're going up to the castle now.
Now let me be very clear about one thing. I had not done any research on Besançon's fortress before we went. I just assumed it would be like most European fortresses. A small entrance fee, a few placards explaining its history, and then you're free to roam around looking at the thick walls and the old cannons and other fortressy things. And partly, I was right. Only, then we saw the birds.
Wow, so the species of this bird, Nondu de Darwin, are from southern Argentina, like almost Cape Horn. Wow, and they cannot fly but can run to up to 60 kilometers per hour. Wow.
Okay, we thought, so there's some interesting birds here. We continued on. And that's when we came to the fortress bridge. And under the bridge, we saw the apes.
There's a sign over there trying to make you not feel bad, saying that this is the biggest enclosure in Europe, similar to this one, and that their normal habitat is about this size as well.
I mean, it is really big, and it is like, it feels kind of cool because it's not really a cage in the normal sense, but it is still feels weird, yeah. I actually had no idea that there would be
me neither.
Animals like this. This is quite crazy.
We continued deeper into the fortress, now completely unsure what we were about to find. We climbed up onto the wall, and at last an expected sight. The view stretched out over the river, and we could even see Magic Carpet bobbing at the dock.
Always pretty cool to see Magic Carpet from elevations like this. It's pretty special being on a fortress and seeing her down there. And also when we will continue, right next to where we're moored right now, there's a tunnel which leads underneath the fortress through the mountain, and we will come out on the other side. Because the river circles around town here, and it kind of creates a natural moat for the fortress.
Sometimes you gotta let me know if I'm out right. But there's some words that I just wanna hear you say, to put it all straight before this night turns into day, and then I'm on my way. Yeah. Yes, I'm on my way. A bit naive.
We walked along the wall, marveling at the beautiful view.
I played for love, but it got me on my knees. Now's the time to reap what I've sown. Your words echoing in every single bone.
But then we saw the koi fish and the turtles. This place was just getting stranger and stranger, and we had barely scratched the surface. As we descended down from the wall into the fortress, we saw the tiger. And then we knew, beyond a shadow of a doubt, that this place isn't just a fortress. This fortress now doubles as a zoo. It also doubles as several museums, but those were closed still due to COVID. And this wasn't just any zoo. Instead of building cages, the fortress itself became the enclosures for these animals. Apes in the moat, tigers in the trees. The fortress of Bisson, rather than housing soldiers and guns, now housed animals from all over the world.
Yeah, so we're just climbing down from the citadel, as it's called, and that was quite a wild experience. That was nothing at all what I imagined. I could have found out that there were animals up there if I had done more research, but honestly we were just like, look up there, let's go up there. And yeah, even at the gates, like, they told us that there's 3 museums and they're all closed at the moment because it's still sort of post-COVID. And so we really just thought that the only thing that would be open would be to look at the view, which we thought would be worth it. But then as we go inside, there's all these animals. It was this very bizarre experience because I'm not normally into the idea of zoos. I've actually never been to a zoo, or no, that's not true. I've been once when I was really little. But there was something different about this because it was like the animals were just, they weren't loose obviously, but they were kind of just incorporated into the landscape of the fortress, which was really interesting. So you're like walking around like you would at any European fortress. I mean, Europe has a fair share of fortresses, and we've visited a few of them, and they're always impressive. You walk around, you look down into the moats, you look at the really big thick stone walls. They're all a little bit different, but they follow these similar patterns. But this time you walk around and you look down into a moat and there's a tiger, or there's like a baboon or something. It was wild. And yeah, I did feel sort of conflicted of like, you know, a lot of these animals were brought in. There was actually a lion there as well that I didn't film because, I don't know, that one I felt quite sad about. Its cage was quite small, or its enclosure was quite small. It was strange. It was like very magical, but at the same time sort of weird and disconcerting. Yeah, I don't know how I feel about it yet.
And on that strange note, it's time for this episode to end. In the next episode, we'll sail through a tunnel that goes underneath this fortress and find even more stories to tell. Thank you so much to all of you for watching. If you haven't already, please click the subscription button and give us a thumbs up. We post a new episode in this whole adventure every Friday. An extra thank you to our patrons for making it possible for us to keep producing these episodes every week, and an extra big thank you to these folks who really go above and beyond to make sure these episodes keep being produced. We'll see you all next time.